Hi friends, this is Laura with the Knot Exchange. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be working on one of these really fun and exciting little pokeballs. They are very popular amongst the kids right now, and you can make them in all sorts of fun and exciting colors. So feel free to join me on that. My pokeball today is actually going to be blue. So you're going to need some yarn, which is either white, black, and then whatever color you choose to make your base. You're going to need an H-size hook, or anything smaller than an H is also okay, polyfiber, a yarn marker, and a pair of scissors. In this video, you're going to also learn how to increase and decrease stitches, how to actually read the pattern, and of course how to make a pokeball. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a magic circle. If you're not familiar with how to do a magic circle, you're just going to wrap it around your fingers 2 times. Insert your hook in between the 2 strands. You're going to grab the first strand and wrap it around so that way it looks like it's made a little loop on your hook. And then you are going to wrap around and we're going to chain up 3. So you got 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. So now you're going to see we've got this big circle. Now I like to make my circle much smaller to work in. So like something about that size maybe. And then we're going to take our tail and tuck it up under like this. We're going to work our stitches around our tail and our loop. Okay, so our first round is going to be 6 single crochets all the way around the loop. So we've got single crochet is insert your hook. You've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through both strands there. Insert your hook, yarn over, just like that. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now that we have our 6 stitches, we're going to take our tail and we are going to pull it tight. So that way we have a nice tight loop. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch there. Sometimes it's a little tough getting it on there. There we go. There we go. So now our second round is going to be 2 single crochets in each loop, or each stitch around. Now there's going to be a total of 12 stitches around your loop, around your circle here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we've tucked enough of that tail, so let's go ahead and trim that baby off. Get that out of the way. And now we've got 11, 12. Now I like to use a yarn marker from this point forward, just so that way I make sure I keep track of my stitches. You can use a piece of yarn. I like to use a safety pin, just so that way for me it just is easier. Some people like to use a bobby pin, so feel free to use whatever is easiest for you. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do in round 3 is we're going to insert and do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and we are going to repeat that all the way around until we have 18 stitches. So I will meet you back at the end of round 3. Now round 4, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And you're going to repeat that around. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. And you're going to notice we're starting to get a much bigger circle here. Alright, so I will meet you guys back at the end of round 4. You should have a total of 24 stitches by the time that you finish this round. Continuing along here with round 5, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then we've got 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And this is how we're doing our increase all the way around. You're adding your stitch every time you do 2 in the same stitch there. And then so that's all you're going to do. You're going to do 1 single crochet times 3 stitches, 2 single crochets, repeat that around until you have 30 stitches all the way in total. I will meet you back at the end of round 5. Now round 6 is our last increase round. So we're going to be doing 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1 single crochet times 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And you are going to repeat this all the way around until you have a total of 36 stitches. So I will meet you back at the end of round 6. Now rows 7 through 10, it's going to be really easy for you. You are just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Then that's a total of 36 stitches. So just go ahead and start working on that. Rows 7 through 10 are going to be those single crochets. So I will meet you back at the end of round 10. So this is what it should look like after round 10. And I didn't quite finish off round 10 because we're about to be changing colors. So you may have to go back a stitch. But just so you know, we're getting ready to change colors. We're going to change to black. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do that now. So to do that, I'm going to insert, pull this up, but I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to set that aside, make myself a slip knot with the black yarn. And then to do your slip knot, you just go insert, see my little loop here, I'm going to pull that out. And there's our slip knot. If you need more instructions on that, please review my first video. I did a beginner's crochet video as well, so feel free to check that out. Now I like to tie my strands just because my brain thinks it makes it more secure, but really you don't actually have to do that, assuming you're working it into your work. Okay. So now you're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around in the black yarn. So I like to work my yarn. Oops, I grabbed the wrong loop. That happens. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead and do our single crochet around, and I like to work my tails into my work, as you guys have figured this out. It just makes it nice and clean for your product, and you don't have to do it for very many stitches, just a couple, and then you can just trim that away. Okay, so I will meet you guys back at the end of round 11, and keep in mind that we are going to be changing colors again at the end of this round, so you want to hold on to 1 stitch at the very end there. All right, I'll meet you at the end of this round. So this is what it should look like at the end of round 15. And so you're definitely starting to see our shape of our pokeball coming along here. And from this point forward, we're going to start decreasing our stitches so that way we can start making the other end of the ball smaller. So how we're going to do that, the next row, 16, is going to be 1 single crochet times 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to decrease stitches. So now how we do that is we're going to actually insert our hook into the first hook there, into the first loop, yarn over and grab that loop. We're not going to finish off the single crochet, but we're going to go into the next loop and yarn over, pull that through. So now we've got 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to do our 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to decrease again. So we're going to insert, yarn over, grab the loop, insert, yarn over, pull it up. We've got our 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, and that is our decrease. Now you're going to repeat this all the way around. So you're going to have the 4 single crochets and then 1 decrease. 4 single crochets and 1 decrease. And I will meet you guys back at the end of round 16. Round 17 is going to be 1 single crochet times 3 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do another decrease. Just like that. So we've got 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 more single crochet, and then we decrease our stitches together. Now you're going to repeat that pattern all the way across until you get to the end of round 17. All right, round 18 is going to be 1 single crochet times 2 stitches, and then we're going to decrease. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and decrease. And you're going to repeat this all the way around until you have 18 stitches. And I will meet you guys back at the end of round 18. All right, round 19, as you can see, we're starting to get much smaller here. Now, after this round, we're going to be stuffing it. We only have 2 rounds left, so we're going to go ahead and start going here. We've got 1 single crochet, decrease. 1 single crochet. Whew. Got a little wild there, decrease. And you're going to repeat that around, all the way around, until you have 12 stitches left on your round here. I will meet you guys back at the end of this round. Now you can see I've already stuffed my pokeball with polyfiber, which is essentially the same stuff you find in pillows. You can get that at your craft store, but I actually literally just buy a pillow and use it that way. It tends to be a lot cheaper. And it's literally the same stuff. So you want to make sure that when you're stuffing these, you don't want the holes to be getting too big when you overstuff. They make the holes really expand out like that. You don't want that in your pokeball. So you want to make sure it's stuffed, but not too stuffed. Now, the last row, we are literally just going to be decreasing all the way around until we have 6 single crochets left. Now you want to be kind of careful. This last row is kind of the toughest row that we do, because you got to make sure you don't also stitch in your polyfiber into your stitch, because then that just makes it look weird on the bottom. So that's 2. 3. 4. 5, and last round, 6. So that's what it looks like on the bottom. So now we're just going to trim so that way we can tuck that later. Okay. And what I like to do is go ahead and insert into the next one and then slip stitch it like that and pull it tight so that way it knots to the yarn. There we go. And we're almost done here. all we have left to do is to make the button. So let's go ahead and make the button. The button, you're going to do a magic circle with 6 single crochets in the magic circle. So let's go ahead and work up our magic circle real quick. One, 2, 3. Okay. There we go. And now we got to put 6 single crochets on that. We got, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull that tight. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch. I want to make sure you get both loops though, not just the back loop. There we go. Then we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, making it a total of 12 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to trim that off. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and before I finish off 12, because I'm going to be changing colors to the black, I'm going to trim here. Grab my black yarn. Make a slip knot. And then we will go ahead and insert that onto our hook. Again, I like to tie my ends together. Hang on just a minute. I think I'm out of camera. There you go. Pull that through. So our last round is going to be 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, all the way around until you have 18 stitches. And this is the last round, so I'm just going to finish it off with you guys on the line here, so I appreciate your patience. Okay, almost done, guys, bear with me. Still trying to go a little bit slower so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can tell or not. All right, excellent. So we have got our round, and we're going to leave a longer tail because we're going to need it for sewing. And now what I'll do is we're going to sew on that button. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these 2 strands off so that way we don't have to worry about them. You take these 2 tails, give them a haircut. All right. Now, next frame, we'll go ahead and put these on together. Now we're ready for assembly. Now I like to use my darning needle. That is the easiest way to hide your stitches. Now I literally just stitch up my bottom like this. Boop, just like that. And then I just hide it in the yarn. That one was really easy. So we'll go ahead and trim that. Put that out of the way. So now when you tie on, or when you sew on this button, I always like to put it on the spot right here where you can see where the stitches have all come together. So that way it hides it. And that way you can't tell where the beginning and where the end is. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my needle. Hold on just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and sew it on there. And you want to center it, so make sure you don't sew it on there crooked. I've done that before. That's kind of a pain. So then you literally just kind of stitch this all the way around. You're literally just sewing the button onto the pokeball here. And this is what makes it a pokeball, is this little button. Without the button, it just looks like a ball. Alright, and then go ahead and sew that on. I hope that you guys enjoyed my video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. I really appreciate you joining me today. I hope that you learned a little something. Until the next time, my friends.